7:10 a.m.
Time to wakey and time for bakey.
Time to wakey and time for wakey.
Get ready for your host with more.
Get ready for your host with most.
Mr. Brian Brown.
Mr. Brian Brown.
It's 7:10 a.m.
It's 7:10 a.m.
Que la roja bichuela y cuando le no viene ligado igualito que yuca. Ese pelo que tiene tan lindo, no venga a pensar que eso es una peluca. Tiene cotorra perico, yo tengo cotorra, tú tienes la cuca. Está claro en el ring, en el piso yo que
No critiques mi pelo, que la soy bueno, porque tú no tienes que de odio tú estás lleno. No critiques mi pelo, que la soy bueno, porque tú no tienes que de odio tú estás lleno. No critiques mi pelo, que la soy bueno, porque tú no tienes que de odio tú estás lleno. No critiques mi pelo, que la soy bueno, porque tú no tienes que de...
And boom, we are live. Forgot to turn on the camera. Good morning, guys. How's everyone doing? It's 7:10 a.m. Wakey, smoke 'em if you got 'em. Good morning, guys. Welcome to 7:10 a.m. What this is a morning show, guys. A morning show podcast, if you will. Morning show-ish thing where we get into a whole mess of stuff, guys. Have a good time. Super interactive. Loving the chat on these guys. Good morning. Let's see who's all up in here this morning. We got Teresa Deller, Tim W, Chantel. Good morning, Russ. If you're in the background, whatever's going on. Good morning, Shadow Man. Good morning, Lonnie over on Twitch. Nice. The one guy on Twitch. Lonnie is an island to himself over on Twitch. He's the only one over there. Good morning, Lonnie. Good morning, Rosie Key. John, good morning. Good morning. How's everyone doing? Oh, man. Ed S in the house, yabba dabba doo. Oh man, that's a way to start the morning. Some yabba dabba doo-ish, guys. Oh man, got a good one for you. Oh my God, who has some of those theme songs running through their heads from yesterday? I was up all night, off and on, I wake up. I'm old now, so I get up all throughout the night. But I had that damn Different Strokes song stuck in my head. The world don't move to the beat of just one drum. What might be right for you may not be right for some. That song is so specific too, so oddly specific. He's a man of means, then along come two. I'm gonna be singing this damn song all freaking day again, guys. Cheers is in mine. Oh, that's the question of the day. What theme song is stuck in your head from yesterday? Yeah, the Cheers one, that's a good one too. So I was wrong yesterday, guys. I was wrong. My girlfriend looked it up. I was obsessed with thinking that my two dads ended in like a murder, stalking, suicide. And I was like, no, I know it was my two dads. Well, we did a little Google research there, and it was a show called My Sister Sam. Who remembers that one? My Sister Sam. Yeah, wrong. Teresa Deller. You guys got some competition. Teresa Deller just threw out a good line of the day, guys. But it was a show called My Sister Sam. Yeah, the Twitch guy, and not because you go like this a lot, Lonnie. What was it? So it was a show called My Sister Sam, and it starred the lady from Mork and Mindy and a young girl who I think was murdered. A guy was stalking her and actually murdered her, I believe. And there's a lot of stalking laws that got put into place because of this TV show and because of what was going on at that time. That police didn't really do anything. So it wasn't My Two Dads. It was a show called My Sister Sam. And yeah, craziness, especially like during the late 80s that it got to that point that some dude, I think, shot her. I believe, or stabbed her, or it was some kind of craziness. But yeah, so that's what that was my mistake yesterday, guys. But I was like thinking I fell down a Mandela effect. I'm like, I know it was my two dads, my sister Sam, my two dads, different but same, as Mr. Miyagi would say. Different. Oh, okay. Mr. Miyagi would say different but same in a normal accent because he's a American just like the rest of us, guys. I will not be caught. I will not be canceled today. No, 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 guys. Oh man. All right, we got a good one today, guys. It's under the same vein as yesterday. My girlfriend came out and she heard what we were talking about when she was getting ready for work, and she had to remind me how old I am. She's like, "You sound so old," talking about those theme songs, and that sparked this topic, guys. Yeah, I am old, and I remember I'm so old. How old are you? I'm so old. That's a Tim joke. My mistake yesterday was thinking I had thought it was okay. My wife corrected me. Oh, Tim with the dad jokes already. Oh my God. Yeah, so I'm so old. How old are you? I am so old that I remember when we would do things normally as children that are now illegal. That is correct. We're going to get into some of these. We are going to get into some of these guys, but who remembers? Like I don't want to ruin it by giving one away. Let's get into these guys. These are pretty damn good. It's some things, man, I completely had even forgotten about. All right, guys. So this morning, these are things we grew up with in the 80s that would probably get you arrested today. I love that kid drinking a beer down there. I believe that's a meme. That's a meme. All right, guys. Let's first. Getting left in the car while your parents go to a store. Who remembers this? Being stuck in a freaking hot car waiting for your parents. And yeah, you're like on the back of the seat. Like, who remembers that, guys? Trying to wrangle kids while you were running errands could be an absolute nightmare. So sometimes our parents would just make us wait in the car. We could always just roll down a window, and the doors were usually unlocked, but it still wasn't a great idea. Yeah, I totally remember just sweating. I remember just sweating and being like, "Oh man, are they coming?" And then if you had balls as a kid, you would honk the horn. Oh man, but you had to know what you were doing. You honked the horn at the wrong time, and mom or dad come running out. You're gonna get snatched up by your ear. Oh my God. That is, yeah, man. You could never get away with that today. 10 seconds and some guy is coming with a brick just for a dog. Now imagine. Now imagine. You know, I'm going to kill this freaking logo up here, guys. That way I can see the chat a little better. Here we go. We had a house key and we weren't allowed to use it because we were feral kid. Yeah, that was another thing. Like, yeah, parents would give you stuff, and then like if you used it, they would get mad. All right, spanking kids. Now I don't like this picture. This is one of the. This isn't one of. This is the first one I woke up with and decided not to go with. But yeah, spanking kids, man. You could get away with it. Back then, we're gonna get a little more into that one. I got a better one. Like I remember going to school, and the fucking principal had a giant paddle wrapped in duct tape sitting behind his freaking chair, like in the desk behind him. Yeah, hell yeah. You go to school and you have to worry about the crazy principal, freaking Dr. Scholl. You crazy old bastard. Probably dead now, but Dr. Scholl, and not the foot guy. I'll call you out, Dr. Scholl. Yeah, I never got spanked by him, but a lot of kids did, man. I remember one kid, this kid Sammy, I went to school with, who would put on extra underwear and pants if he knew he was going to get a spanking that day. Yes, the wood paddles. And some of them would go as far as the drill holes in the paddle so as like more sturdy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so you got a piece of wood, and if you swung it, it could break. But if you notched out holes, it makes it a lot more solid. Yeah, I got paddled in first grade. Who's paddling a kid in first grade? Come on. My mom gave me a house key with a boot on it, so I got. Oh God. Chantel competing for line of the day. Oh my God. Oh, all right. Up next, guys, being totally unreachable. In the days before cell phones, wasn't unusual for us to leave the house having only told our parents that we'd be back by dinner or even dark. As far as they were concerned, we basically fell off the face of the earth until we came home, called from a payphone to get picked up from wherever we ended up at. Yeah, who remembers doing that too? When you had to call and check in, or you had to call and let them know you were okay, and you just grab a payphone and call collect, and it would be collect call from, I'm at the rec center. I'm at the movies. Was pissed at my mom for signing the waiver to be SWAT at school. See, at least you had a waiver to be signed. Or maybe I was just like naive as a kid and thinking that the principal was just swinging at you. Maybe that's how come he never swung at me. He didn't have the freaking release form. Yeah, man. I remember specifically, like in the summertime, especially, when we were my mom would tell me, hey, either go in the backyard and play, get your bike and go do something, but you need to get the hell out of this house and don't come back until nighttime. And you just did it. And you'd go find something to do. You would grab your bike or whatever it is. That's funny because we lived in such a Stranger Things time. Like, I mean, you watch the show, that's totally, man, riding the bicycle around, collect call from Lonnie at Bash's, come pick me up. Our paddle was a wooden boat, or, ooh. All right, so the statutes of limitations are probably up. So I'm going to tell you guys a story about when I managed a pizza parlor. We were bored. I was in my late 20s. I was bored, and driver wanted to go home early. So we had just gotten these big the pizza paddles that you put in like an oar, but the big that you take the pizzas out of the oven with. Big solid wood ones. And one of the drivers wanted to go home early. So we had this assistant manager, this big guy, Dusty was his name, big corn-fed guy. And so I'm like, you want to go home early? You got to let Dusty spank you with the paddle one time, and I'll let you go home early. And so he's like, yeah, hell yeah. So Dusty grabs this freaking thing, brand new. We've had it for maybe, I don't know, a day. And he freaking rears back. Dude's been over, butt bones are in the air, and he comes down so hard with this thing that it split. It split down the middle, and the guy, like, he goes up so high, like his little feet left the ground for a minute, and I was like, we're all getting fucking fired. I'm like, we're all fired. Like this is gonna end badly. This guy wanted to go home so bad that he was like, okay, where's my stuff? He had a bruise, it was like purple, like a purple nurple. Who remembers those purple nurples? Those are illegal that we should have done in the 80s. And freaking it broke on his butt bone. I mean, that freaking board. And he grabbed his stuff and went home. Never said nothing about it again. He was happy he got to go home. Oh, I got a lot of stories from that pizza parlor. About one time I almost got my leg caught up in the dough freaking mixer. We'll talk about that a different time, though. All right. Smoking on planes. No one thought about secondhand smoke in the 80s. They were tiny ashtrays next to your plane seat, and even pilots smoked because no one wanted them withdrawal mid-flight. But more on smoking later. Yeah, man. I never experienced smoking on a plane. I was too young. When you're little, you don't really go on planes that much. Or at least then you didn't. Um, we didn't travel a lot either. You know that, that was one thing. Like in the 70s, 80s, even early 90s, you just didn't travel by airplane a lot. It was like a special thing. My stepdad had a paddle on the refrigerator. If I knew I was going to get the paddle, I started crying before I was even on his lap ready to get it. My mom would say, she's already sorry. Don't. Look at Rosie Key manipulating, playing the game the way it's supposed to be played. Look at that. Oh, seriously, no wonder so many have issues. That is true. I often had wondered, and I think it falls under that same category, like the priests that were touching the kids. And they could sue later on because, like as an adult. What about if you got beat as a kid in school? Like, is that okay? That the principal, some freaking overweight, greasy guy named Dr. Scholl, who freaking had a perspiration problem and smelt of garlic. I know it's oddly specific to me, but why wouldn't that be one and the same? You know what I mean? I know diddling a kid is different than and if you've been diddled, hey, I'm not making light of it, but I just don't know how else to say it. And getting beat as a kid, that's kind of one and the same, right? I mean, I know it has different ramifications mentally, but I mean, you can have PTSD. You can you can't sue, you can't beat up his grandson, but you can beat up his grandson. Hey, so we'll get right back to it, guys. So when I was a teenager, I was probably like 16, 15, probably closer to 16, late 15. I was a punk. We all were. Come on. Trying to figure out who you are at that age. And, you're just I was a teenage boy, so I had a smart mouth and, different stuff. And there was a cop. It was a Metro over in Laughlin, and he beat us up. I'll say it flat out. He stopped us when we were walking. My friend had a condom necklace. He got a puncher, a hole punch, and he got it at school too. And he punched a hole through it. He put it through his necklace, and the cop did not like that. Cop hated it. Cop hated anything we were doing. And he took us out, I don't know, probably about 8 miles out of Laughlin, and he beat us. He beat the crap out of us. And, can't do anything. Underage kid, across state line. I was an Arizona resident. Couldn't really do nothing. Parents tried, nothing. But about 15 years later, actually about 20 years later, about 15 years later, I see him in a freaking Burger King, and he is half a man. He must have a disease. He probably lost about 60 pounds since then, or maybe he has a disability, like he broke his hip or something. I don't know. But he was not the guy who took us out and beat us. I mean, he was the guy, but he wasn't physically like he could never do it again. Like, and I was this tempted to walking over there and being like, "Hey, big man," and just being like, "Hey, remember when you took me and my friend out and you beat us up in the desert? Well, buddy, I just wanted you to know I didn't like that." And that's how that went, guys. All right, up next, chicken pox parties. What the? I don't know. Maybe I don't remember these. Back before chicken pox had a vaccine, most people felt it was best to just get chicken pox out of the way so you wouldn't have to worry. I totally remember this about killing it as soon as you were an adult. So one kid started showing signs. It was time to gather every child in the neighborhood you knew and hadn't gotten. Good old fashioned party, because nothing says fun time like exposing young children to infectious diseases. Yeah, I do remember that now that we're talking about it. As soon as um, somebody got chicken pox at school or whatever. Oh yeah. Oh, hey, you haven't had chicken pox yet? Go over there and hug Troy. Give him a hug. Rub your body on his arm. Yeah, that's. I mean, I guess that was. I don't think Dr. Fauci, whatever the hell his name is, would appreciate that. He couldn't make any money. He doesn't make money off of chicken pox parties, so he's not. I remember when my parents did these, all six of us had them at the same time, probably different. You know what? I remember, who remembers head lice? I know it's still a thing. It's not like it just went away. But who remembers getting head? I remember the kids down the street. Whoa, Rosie, what are you doing, Rosie? What are you doing? Producer Rosie's awake, guys. Um, I remember the kids down the street getting lice, like all of them, and freaking they had it was like the military, and it was in it because their parents were like Vietnam vets, and so they did have that very military thing, and they were out there in the yard, getting their heads shaved, and it was a little traumatizing for me. I'll be honest, like I didn't have the lice, I didn't get my head shaved, but just to see like the factory that they made of these kids kind of freaked me out a little bit. Okay, physical punishment. Here's the one we talked about, guys. The whole concept of spare the rod, spoil the child was considered a totally reasonable method of discipline. Didn't matter if it was our parents, a family member, a teacher. If we misbehaved, if we were disrespectful, the punishment was swift and painful. Yeah, man, you had strangers. You had strangers coming up on you, trying to spank you at times. I remember, oh man, this is going to show how petty I am. And I probably shouldn't hold this grudge. but, but, and you know what? It's funny because, like, you guys just heard me tell a story about getting taken out in the desert by law enforcement and getting beat as a teenager. And I'm like, I hold a little grudge against that, whatever. But this, I hold a big grudge. To this day, I actually was just thinking about this yesterday. When I was like 13, my mom and I went to the store. It was Bash's, matter of fact, in Bullhead. And she asked me to get hamburger buns. We were in line. So I ran to get hamburger buns, but I got hot dog buns instead. And I come back, and our neighbor lady, who was a lot older than us, my mom was a young mom, like she was like in her 20s when she had me, early 20s. So this lady was like, when I was 13, she's like in her 60s, late 60s, older lady. I lived like 3 houses down. I freaking come back with the hot dog buns instead of hamburger buns, and this chick yells at me. Had nothing to do with it. Wasn't even, just barely in line with us. What? Didn't you hear what she said? And this B word grabs my ear and pulls it, and I heard cracking. I heard cracking in my ear, and I'm like, lady, These aren't your buns. Go F yourself. Mind your business is what I thought, not what I wanted to do. That lady is long gone. She's in the ground, buried. Nothing to do with me, just old age. Natural causes, all natural causes. But I still hold a grudge. I'm still like, oh, that bitch, grab my ear. But yeah, back in the day, neighbors could beat you. And it was okay. Your parents didn't care. You're like, you probably had it coming. The neighbor lady grabbed your ear and cracked it. You probably had it coming. Drinking and driving. Now, you know what? This is a very serious problem, and I'm glad they took it freaking serious. But oh my God, back in the day when you'd get like guys with 13 DUIs and they were still driving. It's not that drinking and driving wasn't illegal or it wasn't terrible. It was that in the days before MAD, a lot of people didn't see cracking open a beer on the road as a huge problem. Chances are, if you got caught, the cops would just make you pour it out on the side of the road, exactly, and drink out of your the pick that who thought that and try to pick who was the least drunk to take over driving before sending you on your way. Yeah, that was the way, man. Back you get pulled over for drunk driving. Literally, you could be drinking the beer as they pulled you over. And 9 times out of 10, they would have you pour it out on the side. They would be like, "Who's the most sober?" "Okay, you get to drive, and we want you to go straight home, no messing around." Yeah, that was like, it's normal, man. I remember managing the pizza place, and the owner was from Havasu. But hey, Eugene. Oh, she's dead now. So who got the last laugh? Oh my God! As she haunts me, and all I have is hamburger buns, not hot dog buns. Remember when the cops were cool and they would take you to jail so you could sober up in the morning and give you your key? Yeah, yeah. Who was it? On Mayberry, on Andy Griffith, Otis, the hobo guy. He would come in drunk, walk himself in. He would spend the night, drink it off, or sleep it off, and he would let himself out. Yeah, now it's all about the money. You know, that famous line, what is it? Come Arizona and California, come on vacation, leave on probation. That is a fact. Me and my girlfriend were just talking about this not too long ago about how, like 9 times out of 10, the story is someone rolls in and gets arrested, gets some kind of ticket, get forced to live in the area because they're on probation and they can't leave. I've heard that story a million times. Like that seems a pretty common common one nowadays. Gender specific classes. Basically, every high school had these classes, but only girls could take home ec and only guys could take shop classes. Seems essentially silly since both teach some pretty important basic life skills, but that's just the way it was. Yeah, remember that? Remember, there was always that one kid who wanted to take home ec. Or the one boy who they were like, no, you got to take shop. No, I want to be in there with the girls. No, you got to take shop. Remember those days? Oh, man. Yeah, that could definitely get you arrested now. You start speaking off on some gender specific stuff, chances are, yeah, don't put it on Twitter. That's all I'm saying. Oh, man. All right. Giving kids beer for fun. You know, if most of us are in the same age group, ish, who didn't? Whose dad, whose mom, whose uncle, whose aunt didn't slip them a Schultz every once in a while? Didn't slip them a little drinky. Come on. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because Considering how laid back most people were about smoking, it's not surprising that alcohol would be any different. It's not like we actually enjoyed it. That is true. Alcohol back in the day was nasty, was just disgusting. Yeah, you didn't want to drink it. Mom and dad would give you a little sip, or aunt and uncle, whoever, and you'd be like, ugh, ugh. And then that was probably it. But now you get like the martinis and these freaking drinks that are just delicious. No wonder kids are trying to get them. Home economics was dope. John was the kid. John was the guy who was like, hey, I'm going to talk my way. That's where all the girls were. Smart, smart, smart. Beer's still disgusting. I pour it back into the horse. Beer for your horses. My dad had put it in a bottle, maybe why I'm an alcoholic. Oh my God. Oh, you guys are funny, man. All right, what else we got? Bringing peanut butter in your lunch. There were plenty of kids back then that had peanut allergies, but peanut and other allergy bans just weren't a thing. To make things work, EpiPens didn't hit the market until 1987. So if you had a severe allergy, you pretty much just had to hope you wouldn't die. Yeah, I never really thought about that. Like, peanut allergies were always a thing. But it was like, hey, if your allergy, your fucking problem. That's kind of. I went to the shop after school to work, aka get yelled at. Home economics taught me the stuff. Mom was too wasted to. Yeah, I think some of us had that same issue. Some of us, yeah. Anyway, I was like. Oh, gotta jump off. Catch you later. All right, Teresa Deller, you have a good day. We'll talk to you soon. All right, guys, what else we got? Secondhand smoke. Sometimes it seemed like basically everyone in the 80s smoked. Secondhand smoke was just something everyone had to live with, and not many people were really worried about it. So exposing their kids to it. Most kids were smoking anyway, so I guess getting secondhand didn't matter much. Yeah, I remember that when that was like the big craze of the kids. Like, I never smoked. I've never smoked a cigarette ever. I'm not like preachy. That's just not my thing. I've done a lot of other things that could be way worse than that. But yeah, it was just never my thing. But yeah, man, I remember I was like in like 6th, 7th grade, junior high, all sorts of kids smoked and stuff, man. That was kind of like you were cool if you smoked with your jean jacket. My school served tacos. That's the thing that looked like, yes, that freaking weird rubber. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, Lonnie. Showing up unannounced. Sometimes the easiest way to see if your friends were home and wanted to hang out was just to knock on their door. Because if you tried to call, you might have to talk to their parents. Yeah, that is true. Who wants to talk to your parents? I remember going to my friend's house, and his dad would leave the door open, for fresh air, and you'd knock, and the dad would say, "Come in," and we would run because, like, we don't know what to do. You're supposed to answer the door. Oh, just like now, you walk outside and hope not to die. That is true. Oh. All right, guys. Fake wood on everything. Yeah, that was big, huh? That was big. And it should be illegal. Still no cigarettes. Nice, Rosie Key. 3 months. Man, you totally got that. Yeah, you created, what do they say, 30 days to create a new habit? You got, so what, 90 days in? Man, you definitely created a new habit there. Holdover from the 70s, fake wood paneling was everywhere, on our walls, on our cars, and even our electronics. That is right. On the stereos, rack systems, it was just as hideous then as it is now. But apparently we were blind to it. Some monsters have tried to make it a comeback, but fortunately it has not lasted. Yeah, freaking wood paneling. Wood paneling is the worst. uh, what is it? A Denny's and a truck stop in Amarillo still has a smoking section. That's crazy. Oh man, what do we got? Playing outside unsupervised. Yeah, how that was we kind of talked about this, but yeah, like just we were left to our own devices, man. I remember getting into one summer stealing hood emblems. Who remembers when that was a thing? The Cadillac and the Mercedes, porn star, porn stars even had fake wood. Oh, that was good. That was good. That was a good one, Tim. Oh, yeah, I remember one summer that was like the thing, like stealing the hood emblems, the Cadillac ones. That's what happens when you're left to your own devices. Just tossing your bike on the lawn or whatever house you were at. Yeah, who remembers doing this? It's like you roll up to your friend's house, you throw your bike in the yard, you run in, you go play Nintendo. Whenever we'd bike to a friend's house, we basically just drop our bikes on the lawn and head inside. Made it super easy to find where your friends were. But if you try this nowadays, you probably never see your bike again. Yeah, yeah. What about that? There wasn't as many thieves back then as there is now. Um, welcome back to how things taste and smell. Yeah, that's a big one, right? Like when you smoke cigarettes, you lose a lot of the taste and smell of stuff, man. Hood emblems and tire caps. That's the name of my autobiography, Lonnie. Hood emblems and tire caps. Violence and nudity in PG movies. The PG-13 ranking didn't exist until 1984, so before that, PG movies got away with a lot more. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom and Gremlins came along, and people realized the gap between PG and R was a little too wide. Um, Man, that's how you saw some boobies when you were a kid. It's the only way to see boobies when you were a kid. Oh, yeah. Remember when people just let their dogs poop on other people's lawns and it was okay? Yeah. I don't know if it was ever okay. It was acceptable, but people didn't accept it. I'm totally that guy. Get your dog off my lawn. Yeah. So PG-13. What happened? PG-13 came along and ruined a chance to see boobies for a young kid. I mean, uh, being and doing stuff. So it's hard to be able to when from school. And if you had a younger sibling, chances are you'd be the one in keeping them alive till you got home. That is totally true. My neighbor dog shit. All right. Oh, daily. Uh, what? And boom, we are back. Sorry about that, guys. Had a little connection issue, but we are back. What about biking without a helmet? That was a big one. Man, who wore a helmet back in the day? Man, I didn't. None of my friends did. Oops, wrong one. None of my friends did. But now, hey, good morning, Mike. How you doing? Um, yeah, yeah. Who wore helmets? Now you have to. Like that's a whole thing. Even as an adult, don't you? I think it's the law. You have to wear a bicycle helmet. I will pick up poop off of the other people's lawns and mine and put it in a paper bag and light it on in front of my friend's front door. That is a good one. That is a good one. That is. All right, biking without a helmet. What about this, guys? When you had no change and you had to collect call, hey, mom, come pick me up. Do you accept the charges? Yeah, that totally. And then littering, guys. Yeah, no one cared back then. And you know what? I thought I grabbed it, but I didn't. Who remembers when it was acceptable that your mom or dad, aunt, uncle, whoever could write you a note to go buy them cigarettes from the store? I had a photo of the note. Is this it here? Yes, here you go. Buying cigarettes and alcohol for your parents. Please sell Lenny one pack of Marlboro 100s. If you have any questions, call me. Thanks, Bonnie. Again, adults were busy people. So if they didn't have time to run to the store to pick up the essentials, they send us off with some cash or even a signed blank check and a note for the cashier, and no one ever questioned it. Yeah, did that for my dad. My brother did that. Look, bringing back some memories for you guys. Oh man, yeah, that's crazy, man. You know, that was like the big thing too. Like everyone had a corner liquor store that you would walk to. You would we rented movies from. They had like a small section. I rented Gremlins. Yeah, I rented Gremlins. Oh, Goonies. I rented Goonies every weekend. Um, oh, crazy. Ken's Liquor. That's what ours was called. I think it's the Liquor Castle now down in Bullhead. I used to bag ice when I was like 11 years old. They'd pay me a nickel a bag. And I'd be back there for hours in the summertime just bagging ice, listening to adults be weird. Oh man, that's how come I had an aircraft carrier, Lonnie. I was bagging ice at 11. My mom's friend went in there and told them I was pissed. I would get a 7-Up and a pack of baseball cards or Garbage Pail Kids at my neighborhood liquor store. Yeah, I went with the Yoo-Hoo. For some reason, I was a chocolate water. Who doesn't love chocolate water? That was my go-to. Only helmet at the racetrack. Yes, that's it. When you did BMX, right? That was it, man. You didn't wear a helmet any other time. This was like it was part of the uniform, the BMX uniform, like the leathers. You just didn't do it, guys. All right, so that was it, guys. Those were the things that we did as kids that would probably get us arrested today, guys. Oh, we didn't talk about seatbelts. What about seatbelts? Seatbelts were a suggestion back then. Rotten Rodney. What about Nicky Hickey? I remember that one. That was the one that my parents. Nope. Nope. We won't. You won't be having these in our house. That was the one that broke. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. Was Nicky Hickey. Yeah, guys. So seatbelts, yeah, they were a suggestion back in the day. Like people were like, no one wore seatbelts. Come on, you could ride in the back of a car, like on riding in the back of a truck. How many times have you guys burned your ass sitting down in the back of a hot pickup truck as you sat down? You're like, oh man, crazy about riding in the back of pickup trucks. Yeah, Mike read my mind. Yeah, that was another thing. It's actually super illegal now. This was even like 10 years ago. I lost my mom's audio tape when I was a kid. I never heard the end of it. Oh my. Oh, Tim. Oh my God, Tim. Oh, Yeah, so about 10 years ago, we were out at the lake, and a park ranger had pulled over some kids that were in the back of a truck like that. And I guess it's super illegal. We owned and operated a liquor store. I probably know most of where my problem started. Oh man, growing up in a liquor store is different, huh, John? Like you hear because as a kid, you just assume all adults are good. You just assume like adults know what they're doing. You go as a young kid working in these liquor stores, and you realize that like Jimmy Smith's. All right, here we go. Battery died in my headset, guys, and I had to use this dongle. Had to use a dongle to get set up. All right. Hey, oops, I broke his headset. Yeah, your lines of the day, Lonnie, broke my headset. But yeah, so growing up, like you get these guys who are, I don't want to say losers because I've been there, but they're not winning. They're not winning at life. But because you're a kid and they're an adult, you just, thank you, Mike. Thank you. You just assume that they got their stuff. I met Jimmy. He is a cool guy. I don't know why that's my go-to average Joe name. Hey, Jimmy Smits. But yeah, like you don't realize how messed up people could be in their lives because you're just a kid and they're an adult. You figure they got it together. No, they don't. And you learn a lot of different things in liquor stores, guys. Different way of growing up, a fun way. Definitely. Just like the 80s, guys, it was a fun way to grow up, but a different way. Things that we would get arrested for now. Oh, man. That was a good one, guys. I'm going to get out of here. We're creeping in on an hour again. Oh, man. Guys, great stuff. Hey, make sure you're getting in on these giveaways, guys. Hashtag BAM for The Exorcist, Linda Blair. Hashtag Stranger Things for that freaking lithograph, that art piece, man. That thing is badass. Speaking of the 80s and the 90s, hashtag Deadpool, guys. To get in on that. And then hashtag the Daily Dank to get in on. I sometimes I have to remember, and I see you guys throwing up the daily the hashtag. The Daily Dank for the Chucky box, guys, the Bride of Chucky, the Chucky body knocker, a whole mess of stuff in there. All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I got some errands to run this morning. Not looking forward to it whatsoever, but I got to go enter the real world, guys. So I got to make myself look presentable. All right. I will see you guys at 420. It is Weed Wednesday, guys. We got a good one for you. We got good strain review. I think we're going to be looking into, runts. I think runts. I got a good one lined up for you guys. We'll be trying out some stuff, having a good time. Taste test. Leanne Baker, I found, I misplaced it, but I found the Flaming Hot Cheeto Mountain Dew, and I will be drinking it tonight, guys. I will be doing some taste tests. Be doing some challenges on Weed Wednesday. All right, guys, I'm getting out of here. I will see you guys at 420, and appreciate you guys so much, man. You make this show so great. Appreciate you guys, and I will see you at 420. Appreciate you.
Thank you for joining us on the It's 420 Somewhere podcast. Broadcasting worldwide and brought to you by thedailydank.com. Check out our merchandise and amazing content. And follow us on all our social media. Now, you don't have to go home, but you